Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another live stream, right? Perhaps this is the last live stream before your very important big day. All right, so let's get ready. We will start at 5:30 sharp. Okay? All right, one more minute before we start. 1 minute before we start. All right, it's already 5:30, so let's get started, everybody. Hi. Hopefully by now nobody doesn't know my name. Okay, I'm teacher Yong Lam, and today is 1 week before our HAL math selection test. And last Sunday we actually conducted our in-person mock test. So today is a special occasion. I'm here to give an analysis of the in-person mock test, picking some questions to go through, as well as sharing some exam tips to help everyone be at top-notch condition for the test next Wednesday. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. All right, so on last Sunday, we actually had this in-person mock test with around 180 candidates in total joining us at our Tai Seng, Clementi, and Orchard centers for the test. Okay, now it's still a 50 question test, right? But we see that, okay, maybe it's an in-person setting, maybe it's the timing issue, I'm not sure, right? But the average score seems to be a bit lower than usual, right? Usually it's 70 something, but this time the average score is 60 something, right? As well as, right, those labeled in red are the top 10 questions that are commonly mistaken by the candidates. So at a grand scheme, you can see that, oh, at the front, everyone is doing good, right? The accuracies are pretty high until towards the end, right? Teacher Yong noticed that, why are there more and more red questions? 40 something, 50 something, even 20 something. Why, right? It seems like other than the knowledge points that need to be reviewed, it reflects some of the test-taking strategies that should be known, right, by the students, but they have yet to know. So towards the end, teacher Yonglan will share a lot of exam tips. What should you do before the exam? During the exam, what should you check? What sort of attitude or mentality you should have, right? So today will be a session jam-packed with information, please stay towards the end, right? I promise this will be a worthwhile 1 hour plus. Okay, so with that, let's take a look first at our top 10 commonly mistaken questions. All right, starting with symmetry. Now, honestly, this is one of the questions that I am being a bit adventurous. I'm taking a risk. Technically, students learn this in P4, right? But actually, the concept of symmetry is not that difficult to understand, right? Let's read the question first. Which of the following shape does not have a line of symmetry? Right? What does line of symmetry mean? It means, right, we have a picture, right? For example, very obvious one. Let's say teacher Yonglam has a butterfly, right? A butterfly, okay? And the wings, left and right, look very similar. Are you able to draw a line so that when I fold the butterfly, the two folded parts look exactly the same, right? So perhaps a very natural choice would be vertical line like this, right? Okay, teacher Yonglam's art is a bit wonky, right? But hopefully you get what I mean now. That the left and the right, when I fold the left to the right, they are exactly identical. They completely overlap. Then this is the meaning of symmetrical figure. This is the meaning of line of symmetry. If we have a figure that has a line of symmetry, we call this a symmetrical figure, right? Some very obvious examples of symmetrical figures include your square, right? Your rectangles, heart shape, circle, right? This is a very ugly circle, right? Circle, etc. Right? So your shapes that when you have a line, you fold along the line, the two folded parts are completely identical. They are like mirror images of each other. Then we call this symmetrical figure with a line of symmetry. So this is the line of symmetry that we are looking for. All right. So now, with this information in mind, can you tell me which of the following figures do not have a line of symmetry? Okay, take note. The line could appear in any form, any direction. Okay, so first, type in the chat below. After understanding what is symmetry, can you tell me which figure doesn't have a line of symmetry? Okay, where do elimination. Okay, there are some very obvious choices, right? What are the obvious choices? A, obviously a triangle you can draw over here, right? This is a line of symmetry. The two folded parts into two halves are mirror images of each other. So bye-bye. Okay, B, B, also if you draw a vertical line, right, then the left and right are the same, right? They are mirror images. So get out. C, now a lot of people got tripped here. They think, aha, you see, this is not symmetrical because if I draw a vertical line or if I draw a horizontal line, the two parts are not identical, right? However, teacher Yonglam just said, my line of symmetry could appear in any direction. So can you find out, C, is it possible to draw another line of symmetry that is not vertical or horizontal? Actually, this is a bit sneaky. What if I draw along this diagonal direction like this? Okay, this is a bit off. Let me try again. What if I draw along this? Oh, I can't draw either. I don't have a ruler. But yeah, something like this. And you see the two parts are mirror images of each other. So this is still a line of symmetry. It doesn't have to be vertical or horizontal. So C is out. So the only choice is D. This looks like a regular figure, right? It's a parallelogram. But, right, if you cut like this, it's not mirror images, right? So cannot. If you cut like this, also it's not mirror image, so cannot. There is no line of symmetry, right? So D is the answer. So hopefully now you realize what is the meaning of symmetry and you understand that the line of symmetry can appear in any direction. All right. So with that, the answer is D. Now, type your answer once is enough. I can see everyone's answer. All right. Now with that, let's move on to our next question, right? Evil teacher your mom strikes again, right? This is one of the most evil questions, but right, it relies on a bit of pattern recognition. So let's take a look. as shown in the figure below, when one horizontal line, meaning this line, right, and one vertical line, meaning this line, are drawn across a square, the square will be divided into four individual rectangles. I say individual means this is one rectangle, this is another rectangle, this is another rectangle, this is another rectangle. Okay, now I know there are some bigger ones that you combine by parts, but I say individual. In this case, I specifically say individual, so I do not need to combine the parts, right? So four individual rectangles, 1, 2, 3, 4, they themselves, the part themselves are our, what is it? Our rectangles, individual rectangles. Now, this is when I have one horizontal line and one vertical line. And now I'm asking, what if I have 19 horizontal lines and 17 vertical lines drawn across the square? How many individual rectangles will the square be divided into? Now, admittedly, my numbers are a bit big. I'm sorry about that. But if you can identify the pattern, then it's good enough, right? For that, let's just simplify the problem a bit. Let's say I haven't drawn my vertical line. I only draw the horizontal line. Okay, now I only have horizontal. Right. So when you see a problem like this, the numbers are pretty large, a lot of constraints. Don't worry. Teacher Yonglam's tip is start with smaller conditions. Try to make the numbers smaller. Look at smaller examples. Are you able to see any pattern from that? So over here, you see, let's say I draw one horizontal line. Then how many rectangles can you see? 1, 2. Right. Then let's say I draw two horizontal lines. Then you have three individual rectangles, right? 1, 2, 3. Now, if teacher Yonglam draw three horizontal lines, how many rectangles are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rectangles. Okay, so you see the pattern lah. When I have three horizontal lines, that's 3 plus 1 rectangle. However many lines you have, plus 1 is equal to the number of rectangles. If you don't believe, let's try again. Let's say I have 4 horizontal lines. Then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individual rectangles. Now, the actual question says I have 19. Of course, you can draw 19 on the square. Or if you look at these small examples, you can realize there is a pattern, right? 19 plus 1, there are actually 20 rectangles. Okay, I have 20 rectangles if I only include the horizontal lines. Only horizontal, there are 20 such rectangles. Okay. Now, does that mean that if I have 17 vertical lines, every time I draw a new line, I only plus 1, plus 1, plus 1? I'm not sure. Right, we have to try again, right, using some small example. So let's start with something small, right? Let's say I have two horizontal lines. That means I have 1, 2, 3, 3 individual rectangles, right? This is my example. Now, what happens if I add a vertical line? How many individual rectangles are there this time? How many individual rectangles I can draw? Okay, one vertical line gives me how many new individual rectangles? You realize 8, there's 1, 2, 3, another 3 new. Then, if I cut another one, cut another line vertically, how many new rectangles are there? This is not on the book, this is some questions on the in-person test, right? So I want you to pay full attention, right? Don't need to look at your book or paper, whatever. Just focus on me, right? So here I realize that the moment I draw another new vertical line, there are again 3 more new rectangles. Similarly, I draw one more. I still have 1, 2, 3, 3 more new rectangles. And every time I add a vertical line, there's a new group. There's a new group. There's a new group. Right? So if I count the vertical lines, right, now that I draw the horizontal lines already, I'm done. If I look at the vertical lines, I realize that the number of lines plus 1 is equal to the number of groups of rectangles. Okay, I'll say, now if I draw it again, you realize that I have 3 vertical lines here. Right, 1, 2, 3. How many groups of rectangles do I have? 1 group, 2 group, 3 group, 4 group. It's as if your groups are your objects and your cuts is your intervals, right? Remember in previous mock tests, we have done a lot of cutting log, right? Cutting ribbon sort of problem, right? Which is also highly mistaken by you guys. So hopefully we get to practice more on this. Okay, so in that case, how many vertical lines I have plus 1 will give me the number of groups of rectangles which are previously created by my horizontal lines. Right. Now here I have how many vertical lines? 17 vertical lines, right? That means these 17 vertical lines will create 17 plus 1, which is 18 groups of rectangles. Now, previously, we know there are 19 horizontal lines, which create 20 rectangles. Now, when I cut vertically, I create 18 groups of all the same number of layers. So, 18 groups of 20 rectangles. So, 18 times 20 is 360. Right, my answer is D. Now, this question might be very intimidating, very confusing, but whenever you feel confused, don't worry. Start from a small example. Use small cases to find a pattern, right? Even in this picture alone, it's already an example, right? You see one horizontal line split into 2 rectangles. Then I add a vertical line, it becomes 1 group, and then 2 groups of 2 rectangles. So 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, now that is how you do this question, all right? It's don't really get it. You just check, just check. Draw out all the horizontal lines, find the pattern. Then draw the vertical lines. See what happens whenever you add a new line. Okay, horizontal line, new rectangle. Vertical line, new groups. Okay, consider part by part. Okay, now with that, let's jump all over to question 35, right? For some reason, the remaining question was pretty okay until we reach the end, right? Where some students might start to get a bit nervous and forget some stuff. Now, this question is actually a difference and multiple question, but it looks like a perimeter of square question, right? What exactly does it mean? Now, let's read the question. A square has each side increase or decrease to make a rectangle. So I want to use a square, right? And I want to turn it into a rectangle. I turn it into a rectangle. Now, one side is increased by 10 cm. So maybe this side here originally is like this. Then I draw a new side, or rather I extend it by 10 cm. I extend it by 10 cm. Now, of course, since we want to turn it into a rectangle, the opposite side will also be extended by 10 cm. Okay, now the other side, let me use a different color. The other side is decreased by 5 cm. So the other side now becomes shorter, right? Maybe I get rid of this one. I get rid of this part by 5 cm. Okay, so now this is the new rectangle that I formed. This is the new rectangle. And now I tell you the length of the rectangle is 4 times its width. And I'm asking, what is the original side length of the square? Initially, what is the side length of the square? Now, here you might think it's a perimeter problem, but you see the word 4 times. So actually, it has a multiple relationship. Whenever we want to analyze a multiple relationship, then what should we do? We should draw a model, right? So here we see that the length and the width, the length is 4 times its width, right? So hopefully everyone know by now, the width or the breadth will be my 1 unit, right? So this is 1 unit and the length is 4 units. So you can draw your model like this. Okay, but now how do you find more information to label on the model? That is the key point, right? Maybe we need to use some other information, like what is this 10 for? What is this 5 for? Right? Can anyone tell me, or if you have any idea, what can I use the 10 and the 5 for? What can I use it for? Actually, I can use it to find the difference. Right? You see, initially, this is the length. This is the other length, right? Maybe this is the width. Right? Initially, they are the same. The length I increase by 10, increase by 10. Okay, the breadth I decrease by 5, decrease by 5. So this is the new length. This is the new breadth, right? Wait, let me change the color. The new length, I'm gonna wrap up the entire thing in red. The new breadth, I'm gonna wrap up this in blue, right? So in that case, it's very clear. You can see now there is a change in the quantity, one increase, one decrease. That causes a gap between the new length and the new width, right? There is a difference. What is this difference? What is this difference? Okay, the difference is this is a 10 and this is a 5, right? This is the part that only the length has, but the width don't have. So this difference is 5 plus 10 equals 15, right? So now you found the difference. This difference is 15 cm. You got it from 5 plus 10. All right, and you see just nice. 4 times, 1 time. The difference is 3 units. So with that, you can calculate. 3 units is 15. So 1 unit is equal to 50 divided by 3 equals to 5. That means the breadth is 5. The length is 5, 5, 5, 5, 20. Okay, so is my answer 15, 5, or 20? How should I find my answer next? Now, teacher Yong said, when you found out what is the value of 1 unit, I already said it last week. Whenever you want to find the value of 1 unit, you found it already. Don't just straight away fill in the answer. Look at what the question is asking. It is asking for the side length of the square initially. Now, you know the 1 unit is 5, right? This is 5. But how do I get this 5? Is this the side length of the square? Is this the side length of the square? No, right? The side of the square is actually this thing. And that is where the picture you draw just now, right? How you manipulate the square is very useful. Because from this segment, you know the side length of the square will be 5 plus what? 5 plus 5 equals 10 cm, right? So my answer should be 10 cm. Or you can just find the length 20 minus away the 10, right? You should also get this is 10 cm. All right. And that is how you get the answer. Don't just write down the answer directly. All right. So with that, that is how you do this question. Some of you use algebra. Okay, go ahead. No worries. Okay. But make sure algebra, you do it correctly. Yeah. Okay. If you don't understand algebra, it's okay. Model always works. Okay, so that is question 35. It is a difference and multiple question disguised as perimeter. Okay, now the next question also need to draw model, right? It's an age problem question, right? Let's read the question together. Alex's age 1 year ago is equal to Ben's age 4 years from now. Now, this sentence is telling us, right, two people's age. One person's future age is equal to the other person's past age. What information can I get from here, right? We will keep that in mind first. Now, in 3 years, the sum of their ages will be 35 years, right? That means 3 years later, the sum will be 35 years old. Okay, so seems like I have the sum information for the ages. And I'm now asking, how old is Alex this year? Okay, so we already have, don't stand up. I see a lot of weird symbols. I see that, right, we are asking for the age this year for Alex. I have the sum. Now I need, spoiler. Okay, it's fine. I'll put it here first. I need the sum, but I don't have anything else. It seems like I don't have anything else. Now, this second sentence already tells us something about the age sum. So with the age sum, it's still not enough to find a person's age. So it's okay lah. Let's just look at the first sentence and see what information can we get. Right? The first sentence says, Alex's age 1 year ago is equal to Ben's age 4 years from now. Maybe it's a bit hard to visualize what's going on if you read the question only. Okay, one useful tool when we want to solve age problems is to just use a timeline, right? Or some of you might call it magic arrow rule, right? We compare the two persons' ages, try to link them together. Now, before I move on, my first question. Everyone, type in the chat. Type in the chat. Is A older or is B older? Who is older? Right? There are two people, right? Is A older or is B older? Who should I put here? A or B? A or B is older? A or B? Come on, come on. Tell me in the chat. Who is older? A or B? Okay, you see, B, Ben's age 4 years from now. Ben need to go to the future to reach the past age of A. That means Ben now is still a bit young, right? He needs to be in the future to reach another person's age. So A is actually older, right? If you're not sure at the start, it's okay. We just label part by part. Alex's age 1 year ago. So let's say A is here, right? This is an older age, which means the age is bigger, right? On the right side, we usually use it for bigger quantities, like your number line. Now we want to find Alex's age 1 year ago. How should we label it? All right, we will label it by going 1 year ago, the age is smaller, so I will go to the past. This is 1 year ago. This age is Alex, age 1 year ago. It's equal to, so this age is also Ben's age 4 years from now. That means this age should also be Ben's age 4 years from now. That means 4 years later. This should be also Ben's age 4 years later. Where's Ben now? Where is Ben's age now? Can I say, oh, this is Ben, 4 years later she is here, or he is here? Cannot, right? If 4 years later only I reach this age, my age now should be smaller, which is over here. This is Ben. 4 years later, he will reach here. And then these two ages are the same. They overlap at the same age. And with that, do you realize that I can find the gap between Ben's age and Alex's age? What is the difference between Ben's and Alex's age? That will be 4 plus 1 equals 5. The difference is 5 years. 4, 1. So the difference is 5 years. So with that, we actually get the age difference, right? With an age sum and age difference, sum and difference, again, back to our basics. It's time to draw the model. Okay, so now let's try to draw our model. Now, remember teacher Yonglam said before, when I am solving age problems, do I just anyhow draw the model? Or is there an important step that I should do before I even draw the model? Before I draw the model, there is one important thing that I need to label, specifically for age problems. Who still remember? What should I label? I should stop sharing. Okay, Ari, Nurul, Yusiani, 51. I see you. Stop sharing. Okay, so for age problems, it's very important to include your time point. Which time point am I drawing the model for? Which time point am I comparing the ages of? Since we are asking how old is Alex this year, right? No multiple relationship. Look at the question. We want to find their ages this year. Now, Alex is older, Ben is younger, and there's a difference. Right? We already know the age difference is 5, so I can just label 5 here. All right. Now, what about the sum? I know this year their sum is 35. Is it correct? Is it correct? Okay, go, boy, I don't care. Focus. Okay, can chat later. Okay, 35 is the sum in 3 years. 3 years later, their sum is 35. What about now? I know 35 minus 3. Is it 35 minus 3? Is it 35 minus 3? No, right? It's 35 minus 3 minus 3. Two people's age sum changes by 2 every year, right? From 3 years later to this year. Alex grow younger by 3 years. Ben also go back by 3 years. So in total, I need to go back 2 times. So the age sum is actually 35 minus 3 minus 3, 29. All right, and then difference is 5, sum is 29. How do I find Alex's ages? You just know these two units are the same. So we can find out 1 unit plus 5 plus 1 unit is 29. So how do I find 1 unit? 2 units is 29 minus 5 equals 24. Then 1 unit is 24 divided by 2, which is 12. Does that mean my answer is 12? Does that mean my answer is 12? No, huh? I'm asking for Alex. Alex is 1 unit plus 5. So 12 plus 5 is 17. My answer, 17 years old. All right. Now, with that, that is how I do this question. Okay. If I need to analyze the difference, use a timeline, right? Sometimes you see before, after, whatever. If you are very confused, draw a timeline. Okay. 4 questions down. We have 6 more questions to go, right? Everyone, stay buckled up. I'm gonna move on to the next question, right? Which is an excess shortage problem. Hello? Didn't I just go through it last week? Why is this question commonly mistaken again? You know why? Because it's already question 42. Right? Some people, they panic towards the end, so they couldn't focus well. Right, so let's take a look at this question. A travel agency is preparing some vans for a tour group outing. If each van seats 10 people, there will be 6 people without a seat. If each van seats 13 people, there will be 30 unoccupied seats. How many tour group members are there? Now, access shortage problem. What is the first step that you need to do? What do you need to identify? The moment you see an access shortage problem, right? I'm distributing things in 2 different ways. What are the first 2 things you need to find? Okay, bus stop, Gabriel Mall. Stop telling Gabriel Mall. I already said a lot of times, don't fan. Okay, now you see, when we are seeing an access shortage problem, teacher Yong Lam will always tell you to find what are the item, what are the group. Right, so am I distributing to whom? Okay, now since we are having vans, right, each van 10 people, each van 13 people. I am distributing people to vans. One van, how many people? One van, how many people? So I am grouping into van, and the item is the people. Okay, so now you know the item is the people and the group is the van. Let's just consider the 2 scenarios. Scenario 1, each van seats 10 people. One van, one group, 10. One group, 10. One group, 10. One group, 10. Then there are 6 people without a seat. Does that mean I have too many people or too few people? Too many or too few? There are actually too many, right? I have too many people. I cannot give it to the van. So it's an excess 6. Second case, if each van fits 13 people, 13, 13, 13, 13, right? There will be 30 unoccupied seats. Does that mean too many people or too few people? Too many or too few people, which one? Too many or too few? Too few, right? Because I cannot use up all the seats, right? Not all vans are full. I have not enough people. Oh, did I say too many people? 30 unoccupied seats means it's not enough people. It's a shortage of 30. Okay, I might have made a mistake just now. If I don't have all seats filled up, right? Some seats are empty. That means I still need more people. I have not enough people, right? I need more. Whenever you see I need more items, then it means a shortage, right? Need more items, it's a shortage, okay? Not enough people, need more people, there's a shortage. And now I have a shortage of 30. Now, this picture, I already draw out all the 2 cases. So let's compare. How come I go from an excess to a shortage, right? What's the change over here? That is the difference in the result. I call it the big difference. Now, one excess, one shortage. How do I find the big difference? Think. Is it 30 minus 6? Teacher Yong Lam, I already know difference, ma. Difference should it be minus? Is it minus? No, okay, because one excess, one shortage means not only do I give away the 6 extra people that I have, I still need 30 more. I give away the 6, I still need to give 30. So how many more do I need to give? It's actually 30 plus 6, which is 36 people. Okay, so I need to give 36 more people in total to the vans, and each van receives how many more people? 3 more, right? The small difference is the change in one group. How many more was received per group? 10 to 13, 13 minus 10, 3 people. From there, then I can get 36. Whoop, 36 divided by 3. There are actually 12 groups, right? One group plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. Every group plus 3. Every group plus 3. How many plus 3 are there? There are 12 groups of people or 12 vans. But are we finding the vans? No, right? I'm asking how many 12 group members there are. So how many people are there? Then you can either do 12 vans, first scenario. 12 vans, according to the first scenario, 12 times 10 plus 6 is 126. Or second case, what if I give 13 people to each van? 12 times 13 minus 30. That will be also 126. Now, if both cases give you the same number, then congratulations, you are 99% correct, right? Unless at the start you do something wrong already, you read the numbers wrongly. All right, so make sure to check both conditions, like your chicken rabbit, your access shortage. Make sure to do your checking if you have the time. All right, now with that, that is access shortage. Hopefully you still remember. If you don't, visit my live stream last week. Okay, so this is 5 questions down. I have 5 more to go. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 44. Now, teacher Yong Lam is also taking a risk here. This is a new question type. Let's take a look. Right, Rose wanted to share 60 balloons among her friends equally at her birthday party. That means, right, there are some friends. Rose gives each friend some balloons, equal number of balloons, right? Everyone gets equally. And in total, she gives away 60 balloons, right? So you can think that she had some friends. Each friend receives some balloons, right? The number of each, and it should be equal to 60. However, 3 of her friends did not turn up. So each of the friends who attended received 1 balloon more than originally planned, right? So originally there are like many friends, right? And then they get some number of balloons. However, there are actually 3 less friends that show up, so that gives me another number. And then that means the number that each person received is 1 more. And the result is still 60. Okay, so that's what the question means. Now the question is asking, how many friends turned up? How many friends turned up for her birthday party? How many friends actually attended? Right. So this question is about factors. Maybe you don't know what are factors, but basically what we need to do is to list out what times what is 60 and try to see, is there any numbers that could fit the scenario? Right. So everyone, try to list out what times what is 60. Now, a lot of you might think easy, right? 60 times 1 is 60. Right, that's a possible way, right? Then the next one is, 30 times 2 is equal to 60. Aha, that's another possible way. Now, you see, you see teacher Yong Lam over here, 1 balloon more ma. 1 plus 1 is 2. The number received by each friend is 1 more. So it's possible here. But remember, over here, I said 3 friends didn't attend. So the number of friends should minus 3. Is it minus 3 here? It's minus 30. Hi, moderator, if you are there, right? If somebody is still spamming, can ban them, no worries. Okay. Hey, this is minus 30. I only want minus 3. So this is invalid, right? Okay, don't give up. There are still a lot of pairs that try to list. Again, maybe I times 3. 20 times 3 is 60. I know 15 times 4 is 60. Okay, maybe I list until here and I check, did I get the answer? Okay, 2 plus 1. Okay, plus 1. Is it a minus 3 here? No, it's a minus 10. Over here again, it's a plus 1. Is it a minus 10 here? No, it's a minus 5. Not a minus 3 that I want. I want 3 friends, not a 10. So it seems like the decrease over here is still a bit big. It's okay, right? Let's try to list again. Is there anything else? Something times something is 60. Anything? Maybe what times 5 is 60? What times 5 is 60? Jesse, nobody is telling me now. You can stop. 12 times 5 is 60. And this time, 4 plus 1 is 5. Each person gets one more balloon. That means how many people are gone? Oi, 15 minus 3 is 12. Oh, you see, there is this pair over here. That actually works. Originally, I have 15 friends. Each friend gets 4 balloons. So total 60 balloons. However, 3 of them did not turn up. So there are 3 less friends in the party. So there are 12 friends now. And 12 times what is 60? If there are 12 friends, each friend can receive 5, which is 1 more balloon than originally planned. So that means this scenario works. How many people actually attended? The actual number is 3 left, right? So it's 12 people only. So my answer is 12. Okay, so this is actually an understanding of the meaning of multiplication. Okay, understand the meaning of multiplication, try to list out the possible factors. Okay, so sometimes if you don't know how to do, it's okay. You can just try listing and see if you can find any pattern. All right, now this is about factors, something that is pretty new. I've never gone through in before in any of the mock tests. But with that, let's take a look at the next question. Question 45. You see the question numbers are getting closer and closer. Okay, now let's read this question. There were a total of 500 passengers on 2 ships, ship A and ship B. After the ships arrived at the dock means a parking place for the ships, okay? 60 passengers got off ship A. So what happened? The people in ship A is left, right? It's minus 60. The number of people in A will minus 60, right? And 40 passengers boarded ship B. So those people in B, 40 more got up, 40 more boarded. So inside ship B, there are 40 more passengers. At that point, underline the most important keyword ever. Ship A was exactly 5 times the number of passengers on ship B. A is exactly 5 times of B. Now the question is asking how many passengers were originally on ship A. Hey, what's the most important keyword again? Jesse, don't spam, man. Okay, moderator can help me ban people. Okay. Okay, so now you see there are exactly 5 times. There's a multiple relationship. So we can actually show where is the multiple relationship. The multiple relationship happens at the end, right? After my minus 60 and plus 40. So ship A is exactly 5 times of ship B. Ship B is 1 unit, ship A is 4 units. Okay. 4 more, 5 units, right? Because it's 5 times. Okay, you see, even teacher Yonglam sometimes will flip up. That's why it's important to always cross-check the question once in a while to see if you're on the right track, right? When you say 5, the question say 5. You draw, check again, make sure it really is 5. But other than the, multiple relationship, what other numbers can you use? Now, the question gave you the total at first, which means maybe I need to consider the sum of the passengers. How many passengers are there in total? Is it 500? Total 500 lah. So the total is 500. Until you realize 6 unit equals to 500. Oh, a bit hard to calculate, right? Why? Because this multiple relationship happens at the end of the story. What happened until we reach the end? That will be, first of all, 60 passengers got off ship A. So originally there are 500. 60 passengers got off of one of the ship. So my total also minus 60. Then 40 passengers boarded ship B. Suddenly ship B got 40 more people, so plus 40 in total, right? What's the actual sum of passengers at the end? It's actually 480. So my 6 units here is not 500, it's actually 480, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 units, 480. So in that case, 1 unit is 480 divided by 6 equals to 80. And then we are finding how many passengers were originally on ship A. So ship A at the end has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 units, which is 5 times 80 equals to 400 passengers. But this is at the end for A. I want to find at the start how many A had. So what should I do? A has 60 passengers boarded off. Then at the end, there are 400. At the start, A should have how many? What minus 60 is 400? Working backwards, 400. Actually, I need to add back the 60 to get the initial number of passengers. Answer 460. You see, this single question has so many knowledge points, right? How do you change the total, right? How do you find the multiple relationship? And remember, working backwards, right? How do you work backwards? So one single question alone covers a lot of knowledge points, right? Very good for your revision. All right. So yeah, this is about your sum and multiple. And now let's take a look at the next question. I have 3 more questions to go. Right. Now question 46. Really, it's not that difficult. Right. But like I said, some of you panicked and didn't really get to the end. So it's okay. All right. Let's read the question together. The mass of a box with 6 identical oranges is 2 kilograms and 40 grams. The same box with 10 such oranges, right, previously, was 3 kilograms and 160 grams. Hopefully by now, you already learned, right, how to change your mass units, right? First of all, 1 kilogram is how many grams? 1 kilogram is how many grams? 1 kilogram is how many grams? Yeah, it is 1,000 grams. Okay, so 1,000 grams. If you know this, then you are basically 30% done with the question, right? You're about there. That the question is asking, what is the mass of the box when it is empty without any oranges? I only want the box. Okay, now it's asking you in questions. Now, when you are doing kilogram and gram, trust me, when there are a lot of units, the calculation is going to be very confusing. So what I recommend you to do is change everything to gram. Just now I already said, right, 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. Then 2 kilograms and 40 grams is how many grams? Aha, I know, 240. Right? This is a common mistake, right? A lot of people see this number, just combine. But remember, 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So that means your 2 kilogram will be 2,000 grams, right? 1 kilo, 1,000. 2 kilo, 2,000. And then there is still 40 grams. So the total is 2,040 grams. Okay. Next, 3 kilograms and 160 grams. Remember, 3 kilograms is how many grams? Don't tell me 300. 1 kilo, 1,000. 2 kilo, 2,000. 3 kilo, 3,000 grams. Then together we have 160 more grams. So it's 3,160 grams. Okay. If you have this, you are 50% done. You're halfway done with the question. Now let's read the question again. Oh, someone said they cheat. Oh, you better don't cheat in the real exam, okay? Now, how do we do this then? So now let's read the question and understand the story. A box with 6 identical oranges, so box and 6 oranges is 2,040 grams. The box with 10 oranges is 3,160 grams. What is the mass of the box? So I only want the box. I have boxes and oranges. How come these two are different? How come these two are different? How come the masses are different? That's because there are more oranges over here. 10 compared to 6. There are some extra oranges. So let's split. I can split it into 6 oranges. And how many more oranges? 4 oranges, right? 6 plus 4 is 10. So 10 oranges, I can actually split it into 6 and 4. That means the second case actually has some extra oranges. How many extra? 4 extra oranges, right? With that, one box together with 6 oranges. Thankfully, you know what is the mass. What is the mass of one box and 6 oranges? What is the mass of one box and 6 oranges? Nick, the question gave you already, no? 2040. The smaller group can be found in the bigger group. And if you know the value of the smaller group, just replace it. It is 2040. That means 2040 grams plus 4 more oranges is equal to 3160 grams. Then can you tell me what is the mass of these 4 oranges? Right, that's just a part, which is 3160 minus 2040. That is 1120 grams. Okay, okay. Now, 4 oranges is 1120 grams. That means one orange will be 1120 divided by 4, which is 280 grams. Okay, so many of you, I have been marking your papers. You guys give me 280. Wow, so happy. Is the question really asking for 280? No, it's asking for the mass of the box. Like I said, the moment you found your 1 unit, read the question. What is it trying to find? It's trying to find the box mass. It's the box. You already know 1 orange is 280. Bring it back to the equations here, right? Either to 6 or to 10. Right, first or second case, eliminate the oranges mass to find the box mass. Now here, there's a very important, very suspicious number that could help you with your calculation, right? Which one is it? 10. If 1 orange is 280, do you know the math of 10 oranges? Right, multiply by 10, that's just 280 times 10, 2,800 grams. So this 10 oranges will be 2,800 grams. And how do you find the box mass? Box plus 2,800 is 3160. So straight away, you know, the box mass is 3160 minus 2800. That will be 360 grams, right? So my answer, 360. Okay, very good job, right? Everyone survived this question already, right? It's a comparison and replacement word problems with slightly bigger numbers. Right? Just make sure you do your calculation accurately. And when somehow you realize, my division is not completely done, right? There is a remainder, then check again, right? There shouldn't be any remainder in this sort of situation, right? Now, with that, house turn, don't spend anything. Chat, don't spend. Likes also don't spend. All right. Now let's look at question 48, right? This question is very long, right? We are asking for the maximum and minimum numbers. Find the difference, right? At the end, I'm finding the difference of what? 2 things. Number 1, the smallest 4-digit even number. That's the first thing. And number 2, the greatest 4-digit odd number. That can be formed using the digits 2, 3, 8, and 0, with each digit used exactly 1. Right? So each digit used exactly once. That means I cannot repeat my digit. I need to find 2 such numbers and then find their difference, right? So a lot of people actually got this wrong. It's okay, right? I will go through it now. The first part, right? We are given the digits 2, 3, 8, 0, and I want to find the smallest 4-digit even number. Now, first thing first, we want the smallest number. We also want an even number. So the tip here is, if I want to form the smallest number, should I put a big digit or a small digit here? I should put small digit, right? Because the highest place is more powerful to tell me what is the value to make it big or make it small. So that means the in front digits should be small. The digits at the back must be big, right? What is the biggest digit that I can put here? 8. That's nice. It is even. Good, right? Because otherwise 0 and 2 might not work. So I can put 8 here, right? Put the biggest digit 8. And in fact, what's the smallest digit? I know, 0. Yay, 0. Can I put 0? Cannot, huh? Okay, 0 cannot be at the highest place. So I have to put the next smallest digit, 2. And then over here, I can put 0 and then put 3. Right? Some people might have forgotten the 0. They give me 2380. No, at any point of time, choose the smallest available digit. Here, I cannot use 0, but here it's possible to use 0. So I put 0 here, right? Small to big, but 0 cannot be at the highest place. All right? Now, the second number is the greatest. This time I want greatest, biggest, 4-digit odd number. Now, again, if it's the greatest, starting from the highest place, of course, I want to put the biggest digit here. And I want to put some small digits here. Aha, the smallest digit is 0. So I can put 0 here. Can I? Can I put a 0? Cannot, I want an odd number. So the digit at the end must be odd. The only odd digit available for me is 3. So I will put 3 here. As for the other digits, right, we arrange big to small. So what's the biggest digit that I can put here? The biggest digit is 8. Here, the biggest digit is, the next biggest digit is 2. And finally, 0. So I can do 8203 as the greatest 4-digit odd number. But don't just give me the answer here. At the end, step 3, what is the question asking? The question is asking for the difference between the two numbers, right? Jane, 8320 is wrong. I want odd number, so 3 must be at the end. But at the end, I'm finding the difference. So I have to take 8203 minus 2038. And that will give me, that will give me the answer 5. Right, let's do subtraction. Subtraction 616. Answer 6165. Okay, so that is how I get this done. Right, pay attention to the keywords, right? Even and odd. So we have to reserve an even and odd digit over here. All right. So with that, that's how we do this question. And believe it or not, right, we are 9 questions down. We should enter the final question of the day, right? The final question of the day is question 50, interval problems. Now, for some reason, I see a lot of very large, very gargantuan numbers. I believe it's because everyone forgot a keyword. Let's read the question. 2 utility poles, so they are like your electrical poles that you perhaps will see along the highway. They are 115 meters apart. 22 more utility poles are placed at equal distances between them. Now, when I mark the papers, I believe half of y'all thought that I want to put it outside. I continue putting that. Hello? No, it's between these 2 utility poles. Between or within this range of 115 meters. I put it between them. So actually, the new 22 utility poles are here. Okay? So that means the row, the total length is 115 meters. And how many poles are there altogether? 22 plus the original 2, right? Original 2 plus 22 in between. So there are actually 24 poles. And now I'm asking what is the distance between the second and 16th utility poles, from the second to the 16th, right? How many intervals are there, right? When we see this sort of distance, remember the distance comes from our interval. So we need to pay attention and count the number of intervals. Wow, you guys are very fast. Okay, already get the correct answer. Okay, except Hao Chen, who is still spamming the like. Okay, spam. Okay, so we need to pay attention to the intervals, right? My MHA kids, especially. You guys have just learned interval problems. How many intervals, how many gaps are there between the 24 poles? From the start to the end, 24 poles, there are 24 minus 1, right? Start with an object, and with an object, in between, there should be one less interval, 23 intervals. And therefore, if the total distance is 115, what is the distance of one interval? What is the length of one interval? Total distance 115, I divide by 23 because remember, they are at equal distances. So that will give me 5 meters for one interval. Okay. However, I'm asking from the second to the 16th, right? Between the second and the 16th. Second to 16th. Right? How many gaps are there? Equation? Second to 16th, you can draw, or you can just do 16 minus 2 equals 14 intervals. And if there are 14 intervals, every interval is 5 meters, then altogether there are 14 times 5, 70 meters. All right, that is the answer for this question. All right, that's the last question. Actually, it's not difficult, right? You realize that some of the questions at the end might not even be that difficult, but every keyword is important, right? Read carefully. Where are the new utility poles? After or in between? Okay, and that will be question 50, interval problem, right? I have reached the end of the top 10 common mistakes. Okay, so yeah, that's the first part of this live stream. But the second part is more important. Okay, everybody. Now, teacher Yong Lam will be sharing some very important exam tips. Okay, please put down whatever you are doing. Don't send the chat. Don't do anything. Just look at me. Focus. This is very important. We are 1 week away from the exam. I have been observing, right? Me and the other teachers have been observing everyone during our invigilation, right? While you were doing the in-person mock test. We realized there are some things that we really, really need to remind you, right? So please pay attention. Please listen, everybody. Now, if your parents are also here, please also join, right? So that we can go through this briefing as well. Like it will take around 10 minutes, right? So please pay attention, please, right? If you are ready, please type a 1 in the chat. If you are ready, please type a 1 in the chat. One time only. Please type a 1. One time in the chat. Are you ready? Are you ready? One. One time only, right? In the chat. All right. This is very important because it's 1 week until the end of your exam, or rather the day of your exam. Also the end line. Okay. It's on the 26th of August. So please pay attention, right? What are some tips that I want to share? Okay, YouTube chat ready? All right, let's go. Now, first of all, what do you need to bring for the exam? Please make sure you bring enough stationery items, right? Some students, they only brought like 1 2B pencil, and then they had to borrow from me, right? Don't. Please bring enough. For example, I would recommend bringing at least 3 2B pencils. Must be 2B, okay? Erasers, bring 1 or 2. Bring a ruler just in case. Do not use your pen on the answer sheet. I saw some people using pens, right? Don't use your pencil. When you need to change your answer, it's easy to use your eraser to do that. Okay? Also, make sure you bring your water bottle, just in case you need to drink some water. Not too much, drink just a bit. And jacket, okay, in case the venue is too cold. And if your school requires you to bring any documents, entry proof, right, your identification document, etc., please follow your school's instruction. Whatever teacher Yong Lam is sharing here is just general tips. Okay? Any instructions, always follow the school. The school has higher priority than me. Listen to what your school teacher has to say. All right? And most importantly, also, you yourself have to be in good condition. So make sure you eat well and sleep well the night before, right? Don't need to do any panic revision. The night before, chill a bit, eat well, sleep enough. Okay, so that you are on good condition the next day. All right, that is the day before the exam. Now, before you start the exam, right? First of all, make sure you reach on time. Here, I forgot to mention. Make sure you reach on time. Even better, make sure you reach early so that you have time to navigate to go to your exam venue. Maybe it's your classroom, maybe it's an exam hall. Reach early to prepare in advance. Get familiarized with the environment. And when you get your question paper, please read the instructions. To be honest, all the mock papers I give you, I am just making educated guesses. I am not really sure. Will that be all MCQ? Will it be all SAQ? Read the instructions. Does it need an answer sheet? I think so. Right? Read the questions, paper, instructions. And flip through your question paper. Check if all the pages are printed. If you realize there is a sudden empty page in the middle, straight away ask your teacher to change the question sheet or question paper for you, right? That is better than you do halfway and you realize there's an empty page, then you panic. Make sure everything is good and ready before you start the test. Okay? Can we use mechanical pencil? Any questions here? Don't ask me. Ask your school. Okay? Do they allow that? Ask your school. Okay? And then if there's an answer sheet, make sure you check all the information and fill it in. Write down your full name. Right? For example, my full name is Chow Yong Lam. I will write Chow Yong Lam on my answer sheet. I will not just write Yong Lam. Okay? Write down your full name. If they require your student ID, if they require your school, write it down. If they already printed for you, check if it's correct, especially your full name and your student ID. Make sure it's correct. Make sure there's no spelling mistake. Okay? So make sure all the information are correct so that you can use it to answer the question. All right? No need to tell us we know. You say you know. When we did the mock test, right? I see a lot of people forgetting how to fill in the answer sheet. That's why I have to remind you again, right? Before the test. All right? Next, visit the washroom before entering the test venue, right? Don't go to the washroom halfway. Of course, if you have to go, you go. But if we want to prevent that, because 75 minutes is not that much time. We want to maximize our time inside. So unless you are very, 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 very urgent, then you go to the washroom lah. But to prevent it, go before you enter the test venue. All right. And finally, don't study last minute. Okay, like I said, from the night before, relax, sleep well, okay, and stay calm. Okay, so with that, that is what you should do before starting the test. Now, during you start the test, this is important, right? Especially this one, very important. Remember, you only have 75 minutes. And on top of that, you have English and math, they should be together, right? So it's two papers at once. So both papers, 75 minutes each, they are going to be quite intensive, maybe, right, based on past experience. Teacher Yonglam noticed that a lot of students, right, at the front, they get stuck at a question. They get stuck at it for too long, right? 3 minutes, 4 minutes on a single question. When in fact, you might have 40 to 50, you might have a lot more. And like I said in the test, the difficulty is random. Maybe everything in front is hard, but everything at the back is easy. You never know. So if you get stuck at a question, don't think too long. You wait for 1 minute, you realize, hey, I don't have idea. It's taking a long time. Skip and go to the next question. Right? Put a star beside the question number. Come back later. Okay? Okay? Put a star at the question paper, skip it, and then come back later. Okay? And then make sure you allocate your time well. FAQ and MCQ, if they are both sections, I would say allocate half-half. Okay? Most importantly, I say again, if you are stuck at a question, if you have no idea, skip first. Go to the next question. Maybe the next question is easier. All right? This is very, very crucial. All right? Stuck at the question, just skip. Come back later if you have the time, right? Because maybe the questions at the back are easier. Okay? Now, regarding your answer sheet, I'm pretty sure there will be an answer sheet. Again, check your information carefully. Write your full name, no spelling mistake. Everything should be correct. And then when you are doing your MCQ, make sure you shade it completely, right? Like the circle is here, shade it completely, right? Don't do like this. Cannot, must be completely. If you need some time to practice, practice. Okay, shade it completely. Must be shading it completely, and make sure every row you only shade one answer, right? If you accidentally shade two, they will mark it as wrong. Okay, and for your SAQ, please write down your answer neatly, right? Don't scribble. And if they have units, pay attention to the units they give you. Or if they ask you to write down the units, write it down. All right. Now, some of the students would like to do everything in the question paper first, then at the end transfer. Don't do that. Fill up the answer sheet as you go. You do question one at the question paper, go to the answer sheet, fill in question one. You do question 2, go to the answer sheet, fill in question 2 and check. Did you accidentally skip? Make sure question 2's answer is really on question 2. Don't suddenly skip a line at question 2, you make it blank and then start from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't. Right? So make sure you always do question paper, get your answer, fill it on the answer sheet. Question paper, fill in your answer, go to the answer sheet. Right? Do it alternatively. All right. And yeah, make sure all your answers are in the correct places. Okay. Now, some of you might ask me, how do you check your answers? For MCQ, after you get your answer, paste it onto the question, substitute it back. Right. For example, your chicken rabbit problem, excess shortage problem. These thoughts, you can get your final answer. For example, you say, oh, 3 chickens, 7 rabbits. Then you check it back. Oh, if I have 3 chickens and 7 rabbits, does it give me the correct number of legs? That's just an example, right? Check it with the question. Use your answer, see if it fits the question story. All right. For short answer question, actually, it's for both. It's both, right? I don't need to separate. For short answer questions and MCQ, any keywords, please underline, right? Pay attention to your units. Every number they give you, right? 99% of the time, there's a purpose. There's a reason they give you the number, right? So if you realize there's a number that you didn't use, then you need to be alert, right? You have to use it some way, somehow. And remember, check your question and your answer sheet. Did you fill in the correct answer? Some of you, I just check question 1, your paper answer is A. You go to the answer sheet, you shade B. That one I cannot help you, right? You should have gotten the marks. Or some of you, this happened in task 1 as well. You fill in the answer on the question paper, but you forget to do so in the answer sheet. These are all unnecessary losses, right? Please make sure, check question paper, answer sheet. Question paper, answer sheet. All right? So with that, right, most importantly, everything that we have done until now, right, the questions, number of questions, right, the syllabus, the format, everything is based on our educated guesses. Truthfully speaking, nobody knows exactly how the test will be like. However, I believe there should be a pre-test briefing by the school, right? How to use an answer sheet, right? How to fill in the answers, or is there even an answer sheet, right? Do they allow mechanical pencils, right? Etc. etc. The school, I believe, will give a pre-test briefing, right? Please pay attention, and anything unsure, please ask the school teachers for confirmation. The school's information, the school's response is final, right? Trust the school. Anything unsure, please ask your school teacher. Okay? So with that, what is MCQ and SAQ? MCQ is ABCD. SAQ is fill in the blank. Okay, what if you skip too much? You skip till the end, still have time, come back and try again. Maybe when you come back, then you have an idea how to do it. You can continue doing. Right? Sometimes you're just stuck for a while. You try the others first. All right? Okay. Did I skip any question? For me, do I only write Gabriel Ngok? Follow your school. Usually your school asks you how to write your name. You just write your name. Full name. All right. And yeah, that is all I want to share for today. We have 1 week until our HAL math selection. I wish everyone all the best. Okay, if you there's still some time, right? For the last few days, try to practice more with our mock tests or weekly practices or the HAL book. In fact, I will be compiling the common mistakes from the past mock test and I will send it to everyone right in the group chat and also in the class group tomorrow, right, for you to try out. So with that, that's all I want to share. If you have any problems, you can ask it now, or you can always raise it in the group chat or talk to me or teacher Ning Jie. Okay, we are more than happy to help you. Okay, so with that, where to check the score? I sent the report to your mother. Okay, Gabriel, I sent already. Okay, now if that 1 week away, right? 1 week away. After 1 week, everything is over. We can celebrate together. All right. So everyone, keep calm. Hang in there. Keep up the good effort. Yeah, you are not alone. Okay. All the best. Yeah. With that, that will be the end of today. As always, any questions, just ask in the group. Okay. Thank you, everybody. All right. So yeah. Goodbye. Teacher Yong, where are you? Orchard. Okay. Remember our final call, everything not sure, ask the school. Right? The school knows the best. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Yeah, why wait until August 26th?